Oh, yeah.
And now, our feature presentation.
Why kill the babies? They're just little innocent blue-eyed babies. Because, goddammit, they're gonna grow up one day to rule your babies. Kill them now. We kill the men, we kill the women, we kill the children, we kill the babies. I said, goddammit, we kill them all. I said, goddammit, we kill them all.
It was the late spring of 1997. America's Black Hitler, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, came to Los Angeles to answer my challenge, to debate him on the race issue. Khalid's claim was that the white man is the devil. Adolf Hitler, whose racial rhetoric was not as rabid, nor as blatant as Khalid's brand of bigotry, also sought a scapegoat some 60 years ago. The result was the extermination of millions upon millions of gypsies and Jews, and the creation of World War II, as he sought to establish a united Europe and a new world order. Just what did I expect to achieve by challenging America's Black Hitler to a debate in South Central Los Angeles before what would undoubtedly be an audience of blacks whose primary purpose in attending was to see a honky take a hit?
Anthony J. Hilder, who you heard on the front page, I believe it was on Wednesday, who claims that it is not the white man that is the devil, it is some white men. Is the white man the devil? Is the white man the devil? I can't hear you, and they can't hear you either. Is the white man the devil?
I wanted to draw Khalid Muhammad out into the open before the cameras so I could get his rabid racist rhetoric on film.
We need an insurrection. We need a revolution. We need the complete destruction of the rule of the white man's world. We don't want to avoid an insurrection. We want to run head on, cracker, with an insurrection.
I wanted those who seek the truth and those who are determined to prevent a race war from erupting to know what we face as a nation. If this type of black bigotry continues to be fed and financed by America's Faustian financial fraternity. As for Khalid, I was a drawing card, an opportunity to take on Whitey before a group of blacks where he could belch out his bigotry. I can understand why it would make sense to Muhammad's Muslims to take on the Great White Hope before the Brothers in the Hood in Harlem, Atlanta, D.C., San Francisco, and South Central.
The fight of the century will take place on Saturday, May 3rd, right here in Los Angeles. The bold, raw, internationally known, renowned scholar, historian, and activist, Dr. Khalid Muhammad will battle Anthony J. Hilder, who is considered by the New World Order an expert on the Illuminati. The debate, is the white man the devil, and does this play in the hands of the New World Order or Illuminati? Tickets can be purchased at these various locations.
In this ring, the fight could proceed. Dr. Muhammad could do his rope-a-dope racist routine without reservation. To lasso in the lambs and lead them into the slaughter. Does Khalid Muhammad believe that he's being used by this Faustian financial fraternity to bring black bigotry to a boil? Or is he just plain stupid? I mean, he sounds sincere, but then so did Adolf Hitler. And the Reverend Jim Jones, who told his congregation to commit suicide by gulping down some government grape. It's more than just coincidence that the CIA's capture and control program that's been pushed by Al Gore and his gang is called Operation Lasso.
During the meeting, what came up was a plan that the Oversight and Investigation Subcommittee had put together in 1980. And during that meeting, we discussed Albert Gore and this plan. And I was given a copy of the plan. It was around 40 pages long. And what the plan basically purported to be was a system to handle insurrection. Now, when you read the plan, if you read the title and you read the first few pages, you had the feeling that what they were doing was giving you a report on how to stop insurrection in a major American city. But as you got further into the plan, it said, now that we have discussed how to cease and desist in this type of an operation, these are the factors that could lead to this type of a riot taking place. What it really was 30 pages of blueprint on how to start a riot. How you would go in, rile up the community, how you would be able to approach the youth, how you would be able to infiltrate schools, every single step.
This Luciferian order of enlightened ones, or Illuminati as they prefer to call themselves, are following a blueprint for betrayal and butchery. It was first drafted by General Albert Pike in the late 19th century. General Pike, whose statue here in Washington, D.C., is glorified by the grand masters of the Masonic order. Their religion has dominated our Gargolian government for the past 100 years. Oh, and Pike, he was co-founder of the Ku Klux Klan. Pike was the 33rd degree sovereign grand commander of the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. He wrote that Lucifer is God, and that the Masonic religion should be by all of us initiates, maintained in the purity of the Luciferian doctrine. Pike thought of this nation's blacks as simply niggers, useless eaters, who, if they couldn't be used for slave labor, were simply taking up space. Pike's Masonic religion, like that of Madame Helena Petrovna Blavatsky's Theosophy, are both guarded in the satanic secret doctrine.
They both complement Baha'i, the only ecumenical religion recognized by the United Nations.
Blavatsky, whose breath could stop a pig in its tracks, was the spiritual guide for Adolf Hitler.
Hitler was greatly influenced by her secret doctrines. Blavatsky was the publisher and co-editor with Annie Besant of Lucifer magazine. This street here in the Ohio Valley is named after her. Anthony, who went to school here in Ohio, called it Satan Place.
The black man is an endangered species. The financial fraternity that controls this nation's currency and commerce considers the dark race to be expendable and of little value more than human feces. Make no mistake about it. They consider the black man to be the manure of mankind. If allowed to continue their population control programs, they will radically reduce the population of this planet, of its blacks, the browns, and orientals, to pave the way for a new world order. They think of themselves as the elite of mankind, the chosen ones, to rule and regulate the rabble. The utter disdain for blacks amongst the Illuminazis is quite evident. It's everywhere you look. They're Joseph Mengele medicine men who made the decision to perform the Tuskegee experiments, used syphilitic blacks as human laboratory animals. Had they been dogs, the Humane Society would have objected to such an atrocity.
But that was decades ago. I mean, the question now is, would this same satanic society of corporate socialists, which operate through the Ford, Rockefeller, and Carnegie foundations, use blacks today as cannon fodder in an attempt to usher in their new world order? Would they finance a black bigoted Negro Nazi? In short, would they underwrite a black Hitler so that their programmed protege could lead their people like lambs to the slaughter? Former covert government operative Fred Solani, who worked through the CFR CIA, says that is exactly what they have done and exactly what they are doing. They want, like Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad says, an insurrection.
April of 1992, you're back in Los Angeles. You're operating this phony law firm, storefront, and Operation Lasso is in full swing. You then had the situation with the Rodney King trial, or I should say the trial of the officers who were accused of beating and abusing Rodney King. You then already had orders to put this riot inciting into force?
You know, it depended on what happened. If the verdict had been guilty, the set of orders on how to proceed were totally the opposite of what we did. If it had been guilty, the orders were to go out into the white community in Westwood and Beverly Hills, and with our television show, we had a show called Investigative Reporter, and we had a radio show which was called Investigative Reporter. We were to get negative comments, anti-black comments, to say that it was a racist conviction, things of that nature. If, in fact, they were not convicted, then we were to do the opposite plan. And that opposite plan was to use a modified version of the 1980 Oversight and Investigation booklet.
Written by Al Gore.
Authored by Al Gore and a couple other people, but Al Gore's name was at the top of it. And what that plan was to go into the black community and incite that community. So as the trial started to wind down to the end, about 10 days before the verdict was announced, it was obvious there was going to be a not guilty verdict. I don't think anybody doubted that. Anyone in the media, anyone in the community. So what we did is we started going into the community and we started contacting the black youth in various areas. We concentrated on 3 areas. That was what we call the Long Beach Samoan Crypt area and the poor section of Long Beach. We concentrated on the rolling 30s and rolling 60s and rolling 90s Crips, which was another black gang. And then we concentrated last on something called the 8 Trade Gangster Crips. And what we started doing was going in there and distributing cash and crack cocaine and weapons, handguns.
Even 10 days before the verdict.
Correct. About 10 days before is when we started going in there. It was to create a small riot in a confined area, a small insurrection, that the police could come in and have to leave, and then federal officers could come in and handle it. That was the theory behind it.
Now, you really don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out why this Cassius cabal of mega billionaires would be interested in underwriting a black Hitler. It's difficult for the average American to believe, much less conceive of the fact that this is exactly what has occurred. Liberal, white-sponsored black bigotry is a reality.
I ain't got nothing against the gun. I believe in my God and in my gun. And now you say, well, you don't really believe in God if you believe in the gun. I believe in God and my gun. And I pray that he will bless me to shoot straight.
Several police cars are on Central now between 43rd and 44th. Officers on the street with shotguns.
There's a very definite reason they want blood to flow in the streets. They want to fan the fires of fascism. They want a black Hitler to incite a revolution. They want him to lead his flocks out into the streets of hell, where they will be shot and sheared and slaughtered. The evil archy that controls this country depends upon chaos for control. Liberal, white-sponsored black bigotry is a reality.